Hi there, Chef Jules here for Masonicare. I'm excited to welcome you all for this new three-part series where we're going to show really easy holiday meals, how you can cook them and how you can prepare them. So join us for this three-part series and we're going to get started. The first thing we want to talk about is a nice appetizer or the beginning of a meal or an easy snack, and that is a lovely butternut squash soup. This time of year with the weather and everything going on, butternut squash soup is a perfect way to get nutrition but also a creamy, rich dish. And this right here is our friend, the butternut. Now you may see this in the grocery store and certainly it can be a little intimidating. What do you do with this product? But I'm going to show you very easily how we turn this into a fantastic soup that can be easily prepared for your friends and family. And when you find these in the store, you're going to get these. This is a local one. We got this from our local produce vendor here in Connecticut. This grew right in our backyard. And we're just going to simply slice in half on the ends here with your knife. Now this is a tough product, so you want to be careful. You want to make sure you have a good hand. And the reason I'm cutting both sides of this is I have a nice stable base. So I can cut this item in half. I can cut the squash right in half. If I want, you can, if you're uncomfortable, you can cut it in half like this. So this way you're working with an even smaller piece. Now be very careful. Take your knife, push down, and just slice it right in half like so. And you'll have nice two halves. And on this one, we're going to do the same thing and slice it right in half. Now there's some seeds in here. We're just going to take our bowl over here and take the seeds out. We don't want it cooked with the seeds, although you can reserve them. Toast the seeds just like a pumpkin seed or anything else and have them right on the side. And we'll open these up as well. And get those out of there. All right, we'll put that in the sink. Side. And now we're going to take our butternuts, and this is where it's very, very simple. We're going to take a little olive oil, very simply, and just drizzle it over the butternut squashes. Salt and pepper. A little pepper, a little salt. And then we're just going to use our hands and we're going to toss it together. We want to make sure these are nice and coated all over the place. We're going to take our sheet pan. We're going to preheat our oven to 325 degrees. And for the next 45 minutes, these little squashes are going to cook right in our oven. And what we're going to have is these nice roasted squashes. They're going to come out. One of the really nice things is you can buy a lot of these. These are really economical, they're not expensive, and you can roast several at a time because what we're after is getting this delicious meat that's inside of here. So we want this meat right here, the nice soft butternut meat that we have here. It's nice and soft, slow roasted. The natural sugars and flavors of the butternut come out. Butternut falls in what we love to talk about here at Masonicare as a superfood, so it's packed with nutrition. And when we take all that meat out, we're going to have a wonderful, wonderful base to start our soup. Now, I have some meat over here already chopped up and cooked. Now, whatever you have left over, you can package this in a freezer-safe bag, freeze it, and any time you want to make this soup, you just pull that meat right out of the freezer, and you've got your base. Now we're going to set this aside for a moment. We're going to grab ourselves a fresh onion and we're just going to give it a little slice. And just chop it nice and small. We're going to take a little carrot, and what we're doing here is we're just getting ready to build the foundation of the soup. Now the foundation of almost all soups and sauces that we enjoy start with a mirepoix, and that is basically a blend of celery, carrots, and onion. We're going to chop all those up nice and small, and a little celery. Meanwhile, I'm going to turn my stove on here, get it nice and preheated. We're going to put a little oil in the pan. I'm going to saute these right in here. And then of course we're going to add a little clove of garlic. And you don't have to be too perfect because what we're going to do is we're going to puree all this up in a few moments. So they don't have to be perfect cuts, but for here we're going to cut them a little smaller. We're going to season Salt and pepper again. Now at this time, I like to think about my spice palette is. One of the best parts about using butternut is this is a kind of like a potato. It's a plain medium. It has a lovely rich flavor, but you can add whatever you'd like to it. So what type of spices do you want? And I think the fall here in New England, I'm thinking a little nutmeg and a little cinnamon. I like to add that in. I want to add that in now while I'm sauteing, because one of the things with spices, and we've talked about this before many times, but we want to extract that flavor. So we're going to add it right at this time and toast it a little bit. Because these are dried spices and they've been dried for a while, so we want to make sure that we're going to get all those oils and that flavor out of it, and this is a great time to do that. So as we're sauteing our mirepoix here, celery, onions, and carrots, we're going to add our nutmeg and a little bit of cinnamon. Now remember, nutmeg goes a long way. If you like a little clove or anything that you know reminds you, this is just an open forum. You can really do whatever you'd like. Now I'm going to add my butternut squash mix here, which is all out there, and I'm just going to bring that all together. We're going to let that cook for a moment. Now you have the decision. We want to add a little bit of liquid here. You can choose to do a vegetable stock, or you could also choose to do chicken stock, depending on who you're feeding. If you want to keep it strictly vegetarian, you can do that. I have a little chicken stock today, and you can certainly add just regular water, depending on what your needs are. I'm going to put a little water in there. And really, the nice part too is what thickness do you want in the soup? Do you want it to be super thick, or do you want it to be a little looser? And this is where you add that product in there. You can blend that. We're going to let that cook for just a moment. Let it come up to a boil. We'll let it simmer for a little while, let all those flavors come in. And you can really see the lovely color you have here. And we'll let that cook for just a moment. Meanwhile, we think about what do you want to enjoy with that soup. So this could easily be an appetizer for an upcoming holiday meal you feed to your guests, or it could be a lovely way to warm up a lunch on an afternoon. Perhaps a snow day with the kids and you want to feed them something healthy. This comes, you can take this right out of your freezer, your pureed butternut squash, mix it together with whatever ingredients you want, and you've got something the kids are going to love, and really, really healthy as well. So I'm going to take my little mixing bowl as this has been cooking, and I want to grind this up because I want this to be really, really nice and pureed. No big chunks, but by all means you can do that on your own. If you like chunks, you can make it with chunks. It's really up to you and what your preference is, but I'm going to take this, put this right in my little blender here. And if it's a little thick still, you can add a little more of stock. You know, this way you can just get it right there. We're going to put a little bit of there. Now this is up to you again. If we're making this for a fun holiday meal, I want a little richness in there to celebrate, so I'm going to add a little heavy cream. Just a little bit, why not? And that will give it a nice creaminess. Certainly if you're looking to stay away from the heavy cream, you don't have to do that, but for this sake, so we're just going to gently put that in the blender. Give it a nice blend. I'm going to take my bowl here. Now you remember earlier we took those seeds out of the butternut. You could take those seeds, salt and pepper, dry them out, salt and pepper them, roast them a little bit. Makes a lovely little garnish on top if you have a little free time. We're going to take our nice creamy soup here. And you can see that nice color that comes out. We have our celery, our onions, our carrots, our cinnamon, nutmeg, and then we're going to take these. I have right here some toasted little sunflower seeds we're going to put right on top, just to start that out. And then I'm going to grab a nice scallion, beautiful scallions, local right here. You know, we're having a wonderful harvest season here in Connecticut. It's just going later and later. I still have tomatoes in my garden at home, so take full advantage and put the little scallion there. And then for me, if this is a nice lunch or just even a snack, I want a nice whole grain bread. So I'm going to take, this is one of our favorite breads we use here in our community, and we just take a couple little slices of bread. And we'll get our little plate here. Right there. Maybe just a little small pat of butter right here on there. And there we are. That is a quick and easy butternut squash soup. You can make this as a holiday appetizer, or you can make this just as a fun, wholesome lunch for a cold fall or winter afternoon. That's delicious. Very, very good. Well, I want to thank you all for watching. Make sure you stay tuned for our second part in this series, where we're going to be preparing a fresh turkey and two lovely sides, nice and easy and simple for the holidays. Thank you.